Hello, how are we?
What's up? Looking gorgeous.
Are you too?
To this human connecting on this Thursday. Um, before we dive into a discussion, I would like to ask you to introduce yourself to some of our followers that may not be familiar with your work.
Yes, thank you very much. First of all, I love the mustache. You look absolutely fabulous. Love it. And just to give a quick introduction about myself, my name is Hannah. I have quite a colorful resume, as it were. I actually started as the in-house video creator for Insta360, which some of you may know. It's a amazing, innovative 360 camera company. I was working there for a couple of years. I was just going and pushing the camera to its creative limits. I was skydiving with Red Bull athletes, putting cameras on fire, launching it off of buildings. So that was my bread and butter for a couple of years, doing that.
How exciting!
And then that is what kind of kickstarted my content creation journey, and that was all the way back in 2019. Since then, I've gone on to build my own social media, which we'll be talking about today, which for everyone watching, we're going to be giving you tips on how you can do that yourself. And besides that, I've also been working on travel documentaries in China for the past year. So a little bit of everything.
That's a lot to cover. Honestly, to live your life, man. That's so exciting. I'm excited to have you here. What a resume. A host of documentaries, brand ambassador. That's a lot to. That's a big head start compared to some other careers that we've had on this show. But yeah, let's get into this discussion. You have been posting tips about content creation and filming since several years ago, since 2021. So it's been kind of 3 years, or correct me if I'm wrong. How do you keep on generating ideas? How do you come up with them? What advice can you give to other people in terms of just idea generation for new content and new posts and new videos?
So it definitely goes in a cycle when you do something for so long. I want to preface this by saying, sometimes my videos have been doing well. I originally started with 360 cameras. That's all I was making content with. And then there's been this kind of metamorphosis over the years. So what I've always tried to do is match my life to my content. So at one point I was working at a fashion startup, so I could see what I had available. I had more outfits, so I focused on outfit transitions because at that part in time, that's the resources that I had available to me. I wasn't traveling as much, so I couldn't make as much travel content. And then when I'm traveling more, obviously I focus it more towards travel. So on the content creation side, I think you should always, as a content creator, be realistic and look what you have around you. So for example, what I have right now is my series on how to film yourself. And this is basically applicable for anyone going to the supermarket, walking in the street, going to the gym, and just realizing that you don't need a fancy 5-star hotel to create content. You need to look at your daily life and how you can make it cinematic. This is number one. Secondly is for my photo shoots, I love using the Prequel filters for that. That's more on the editing process. But typically, I'm a video creator. I am rubbish at photography. So a tip that I would give anyone watching here is, if you enjoy being more in front of the camera, look for local photographers wherever you're going to be based. So whether you're traveling or whether you're based in your hometown, look for people who have a kind of result that you would like and just add some kind of value to them. So you might come with the creative ideas, or you might come with a location, and then you co-create.
And elevate each other, grow your network, and you always have opportunities wherever you go.
Exactly. Like right now, collaboration.
Yeah. Just organically, just happening between two humans on two sides of the camera. What are the key things that you will outline are important on this part of your journey as a solo creator, specifically without a team, without without a big support structure? What are the key tips for people that look specifically for like relying on themselves?
I know it's not a very glamorous answer, but unfortunately, consistency is key in this respect. Your creativity is like a muscle, and a muscle needs to be trained. So if you're not going out and shooting and you're just talking about ideas and you're saving tutorials like mine, but you're not making them for yourself, this is the biggest barrier for you to create creative things. This is the biggest barrier for you to develop yourself as a creator. So the first thing is taking any ideas that you have and actually doing them, not just saving and talking about them. Second of all, a more practical tip would be like training the algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very easy to spend copious amounts of time on social media and just get sucked into a vacuum of things that aren't useful to your content creation journey. So we've all been there. I'm the same. I mean, my screen time, you would have a heart attack if you've seen it. It's like ridiculous. But you need to train the algorithms to feed you the creative inspiration that you need in whatever niche that you have. So this is another practical tip.
Just put yourself out there. That's the advice. Let's wrap it up. No, I'm joking.
Exactly. Easy.
Yeah. While we're searching for this, in my teammates, we've noticed that a lot of creators that focus on solo content creation, they emphasize the importance of composition, which is kind of intuitive for a lot of people that professionally trained, maybe, but maybe not as obvious. Not as obvious for someone who might be just getting around to doing everything by themselves from scratch. So do you have a go-to recipe or some kind of combination for storyboarding video in terms of simple compositions that anyone can replicate or recreate? Like any restful go-tos?
Absolutely. I think I like to do a little bit more of a creative mix. So I, first of all, would look at creative mounting. So you'll see in a lot of my tutorials, I'll like strap my phone to my shoe or put my phone at a bird's eye view on a random street sign in the middle of Hong Kong, for example. And I think you should always... Social media now is about retention, so I think you need to have like a kind of wild card to start your sequence just to get the audience engaged and also do something a little bit different. And then your classic composition with, keeping the subject central in a shot. You can make some very easy transitions just using a central subject composition. A tip that I like to use when trying to film is if you have your phone on a tripod or if you have it mounted somewhere, go out and put your bag or a marker in a place where you know the center is. Then that's going to give you an indication on how to shoot yourself. And so I would say a mix of creative mounting, traditional composition by rule of thirds, and then also just have fun with it, because this is the beauty of apps like Prequel or also getting creative in CapCut, for example. The beauty also lies in the editing. So you kind of just need to, run and gun with the elements of where you're shooting.
Just play around with it, see what sticks. If you throw different options, yeah, absolutely. That's it should be about having fun. After you're done with consistency part, as you mentioned previously, it's time to jump on the fun side of it. Music has such an important role in content creation these days, especially with TikTok influence, obviously. How do you find and choose your music? Because something also we discovered as a team is how just well fit your musical choices are to videos. What's your process and take on choosing music for individuals?
It's the thing that takes the most amount of time is searching for music. It's an absolute nightmare. So I empathize with anyone in the comments right now that also feels like they spend hours scrolling audios. And I think it all has to do with the look and feel of your videos. So I think something that I like to do is search for kind of aesthetics that I like, or maybe cities that I like, or specific content pillars. And I will just go through the top performing posts within that niche. And eventually you find something that sticks and I'll save it. I think ultimately you kind of, if you really are in this for the long game and you really want to stick to that consistency, you need to ultimately edit the musics you need to make your edits to the style of music that you like. Because, for example, in my videos, you'll see that I reuse soundtracks very often. So if that becomes like your style, you need to use music that you like.
You need to push it. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So it's very subjective.
You have this segment specifically about filming tips in 15 minutes, shooting tips in 15 seconds, I'm sorry. And you always accompany it with the same song. Is there a story behind it? Like, how did you come to it? Or is it Trap is your favorite song? What is it?
So that I told everyone I would spill the secret sauce. That it actually was a piece of advice from a very, very large creator on Instagram, where he told me, this is like your format, the 15 seconds. So this formula works in terms of content, and so does the soundtrack. So whilst this is popping off, you just need to drill down on what works. So what's going viral, you need to duplicate and replicate consistently what is going viral within your format. So the soundtrack that I use for my 15-second tutorials has become synonymous with me doing this with 15 seconds. So it gives a kind of familiarity to the viewer. So there's kind of like people, when they hear that soundtrack, they think of you. You know what I mean?
You're conditioning them like Pavlov dogs. I hear the sound. I want to see what's on the screen. Yeah. You said that you learned it from a big creator. Was it like a personal consultation, or was it like a course that you took, or did you just saw like publicly available tutorial about it?
So I have been creating content for so many years that it's very easy to get like fatigued with your own process and maybe be a little bit too emotional about your own content, thinking like, oh, like I can make this, I can make that, without really understanding that the market has changed and the audience has different needs. So I actually started working like one-to-one with a bigger creator because I seen what he was doing. And I thought, like, I have something to learn from this guy because he's growing at a really rapid rate. So I think also I never would have previously advised creators to actually outsource coaching or help, but it's been very transformative for me. So if you're at the very origins of your content creation journey, it's definitely worth seeking the advice of people who are where you want to be. Whether that leads to a course or...
You read in my mind, I wanted to say, kids, seek out an advisor. So you literally spelled it out. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like a very useful tip for everybody. Mini break. Quick reminder for everyone that if you share that you're watching this on your Instagram stories, you tag us. We will repost you. Let people know that you're with us tonight. And yeah, thank you. Back to the scheduled programming. A lot of the time, we use a phone for shooting ourselves, and some people say that phone is important, but just a part of a bigger toolkit. Some people build their careers around relying only on your phone and the apps on your phone and camera on your phone. What's your approach? What's your take? What's the ultimate minimal toolkit for growing solo creators?
So I think like something that I'm trying to focus on in the minute is trying to minimize the setup as much as possible, because I want to show everyone that they don't have a barrier to entry in terms of solo content creation. So if you've seen me on the street shooting, I always have this bag. It's like a really cheap bag from Uniqlo that holds all my stuff in it. And it's here every time I go shoot.
What's in
I have this
the bag?
What's in the bag is in gold. So in here is my Uniqlo bag. It absolutely stinks, by the way. It's like covered in like white and white.
Thanks for letting us know. We're all a multi-sensory experience.
Exactly. Put yourself in the mind of a bag. So for example, like I hate carrying around tripods. Like that's how minimalistic I am. I think even carrying around the tripod like kills me inside. So I have this little clip, like a hair clip.
Yeah.
I'll use this as like a low angle tripod, or I put my phone in here and I just balance it. And also in here, I will have like some hair ties in case I want to like suspend my phone on like a fence or like wrap it to my shoe or something like that. But generally speaking, I try to just use the elements that are around me. Like today I was in the supermarket. The lighting is cool inside a freezer, so I put the phone inside the freezer, or like a shopping trolley. You can get like an under view, or you can get like a full POV walking. So I think your creativity is the only real asset that you need when you're trying to shoot content like this.
That's a big that's a quote for a t-shirt. We'll have to put out that merge after.
Pass into it.
We spoke a bunch now about filming, but after filming comes editing, and what's the process there? What's your process, and what's the takeaways that other young creators could use out of that process with license?
So I think the final result of what you're filming, obviously that footage is extremely important, but what you'll see from all my tutorials is the behind the scenes. So before even getting to the editing, try to make sure that you also have behind the scenes footage to support what you're making, because that's going to be important in the editing process. Because I think specifically within the solo creator niche, by sharing your secret sauce, it's actually going to make your content perform better, because anyone can make a nicely framed shot, you know? But if you show that I did this by strapping it to a water bottle and putting it on a street sign, and as you do. So the editing process for me, I'm always just like make sure I have my behind the scenes footage and my final result footage. I have a short behind the scenes format, which will usually take around, let's say, 60 to 70% of the overall video, and then the final result is actually only a small percentage. So for my videos, what I'll do is I want like a real cinematic look, I will export it from CapCut, and if I want to apply like a cinematic filter, then I'll take it into Prequel and then export it from there. As long as you've had the correct shooting settings when shooting the content, then the compression and the quality is going to be good, even when you export from like 2 apps. And then for photos, just throw them up in Prequel and they'll make you look fabulous. Love it.
Good to hear, actually, from a power user in the public arena. Thank you for emphasizing us. Yeah, kids, you can do it all with almost just Prequel, but sure, there's more perfect. Yeah, love it. Also, it's also even for our team behind the scenes. I'm talking here to you, but they're watching, and I'm sure they're super proud of themselves for overhearing like that they contributed to creation project. Some creators. Speaking about behind the scenes, some creators feel conflicted or subconscious about filming in public places, and it takes a bit of character probably, or temperament, or some personal qualities to overcome that fright. But do you have any advice, like actionable advice, on that, how to deal with fright of performing in the public. Asking for myself.
Yeah, like I can see you getting out there. You're not shy.
That's not my first Prequel live, so what can you say?
So I will give you like the kind of hard knock answer and then like a slightly more practical one. Unfortunately, being a content creator and going outside and shooting creative angles means that people will stop and they'll stare at you, and people will be curious, people will be judgmental. This is just like, I'm from the UK, like everyone judges you for everything in public. So like, unfortunately, content creators who succeed just need to get over the fear of being looked at. Like it's just part of the job. I hate to say it. It's like you can't romanticize it. However, a slightly more practical one would be like just choosing whatever locations you feel comfortable that you want to shoot in, and make sure that you're not going at peak time. So that might be, let's say you're traveling and you want to make a cool travel video. If you wake up for sunrise and go for like, let's say the central square of the city. If you go at sunrise, there's not going to be that many people there, right?
True.
If you go at 2:00 in the afternoon, it's going to be a nightmare. So it's kind of like this mentality. My mum always brought me up on it, is just shut up and get on with it. So if you want the results, you just need to go out and shoot it. There's no kind of way about it.
Yeah, and do your best and figure out what works for you in mobile.
Yes,
have a question in the audience. Raz Galore is asking, how many countries have you been to, as an aside?
How many countries have I been to? First of all, hello, Raz. Let me think. How many countries? I'm lost count. I'm like a candle in the wind. I'm here, there, and everywhere.
Don't has nothing on the front. Oh, there. Have you ever experienced any trouble with all that self-shooting, as you said, leaning your phone onto something, leaving your phone away from yourself? Have you ever had any curious cases of people interfering with that? Anecdotes, funny, not funny, life lessons taken a little bit.
Life lessons where I can definitely empathize with a lot of people out there. I was doing a lot of shooting in China before, which is a very safe place. Like there's very, very little crime. So I could basically film with complete freedom at all times. And then I went to the US, and essentially like in a busy kind of Vegas strip situation. And so I definitely can empathize with people that maybe don't live in the safest of places and having safety concerns. It does limit your creativity in a way. So my kind of key takeaway for that is genuinely like don't risk your equipment being stolen just for the shot. You kind of just need to adapt to where you are. So when I was shooting in America, for example, I knew I couldn't do my angles where I like put my phone somewhere, then run across the street, or put my phone outside and then come back inside. So I kind of just had to look and think, okay, I'm gonna, adapt the shots so I'm always in touching distance of my phone in case something happens. Yes. So adapt to the environment that you're in. And then on another more practical level, you'll see my phone case here. Patrick is squeezing SpongeBob's bum. This is like a very, very sturdy case. So when you're doing these creative angles, you need a good enough case. So when your phone inevitably falls, you're not going to get any cracks.
Yeah. And probably buy some extended Apple Care guarantees.
Yes. Expensive option. You won't regret it.
Yeah, because if like in Barcelona, you put your phone, like before you turn around, it would be gone. So yeah, don't do it here, guys. Kind of last question for now that I have. Top resources, top places for looking for inspiration and ideas and leads on content that you could recommend as a sustainable kind of practice. What's your favorite places to look for inspiration?
So I would say that my algorithm does a pretty good job of suggesting me like what's hot within my niche. But what I definitely would recommend to add a more kind of professional approach to content creation for kind of beginners out there is make a Google Sheet or a Notion template and basically collect probably around 30 to 40 of the top performing posts within your niche. Put the link, pardon me, put the link, put the creator, put the number of likes that it has, and make a small note of what was spectacular about it, what you think was special about it, and what you would recreate. And use this as basically your inspiration bank when you're shooting content for the week. So you might update this list every couple of weeks, you might do it every month. And this is one very rigid way. Another really simple thing that I do that I find really helpful is I have a saved folder in my Instagram literally called angles. And if I see anything cool in terms of creative mounting, editing, a creator that does something a specific way, I just put it all in there so that I'm constantly checking it, and I have a very photographic memory. So it's all here that if I'm planning to shoot something, I can be like, oh, like remember that girl that like taped it to the top of her car? Like I'll do that for my car tutorial. Creativity is best. So just look at other people on Instagram. They're doing well and what you want to be doing well, and put your own spin on it. It's easy. It's there.
Combining a very consistent rigid approach with like a Notion database and relying on your instincts, as you said, sounds like a perfect combo for this. So it's a great answer for this question. Yeah, small reminder that anyone commenting on this live stream is getting a message from our bot in the DMs with exclusive tips from Hannah also over there. And an exclusive offer for super nice discount on our gold subscription. So do not hesitate to comment if you still haven't. And to wrap this up, a short round of rapid fire questions, if you don't mind. Traveling or content creation, which is the first and foremost for you?
That hurts. It's like asking a mother to choose her favorite child. It's crazy to see, but I do have a quick anecdote for this. It would be firstly content creation, because I've found at any moment in my life I'm having a hard time. Like even during the quarantine when I was like locked up in a hotel room somewhere in Asia, if I can produce like a creative video wherever I am, like it takes me from here to here. It's like very important for my mental health. But also, like I say that, but like every week I'm usually in like a different place or country. So I would say content creation very closely all about.
Mother has chosen. You kind of answered this, but ultimately, without jokes, a hair clip or an actual tripod? What do you use more, actually? Okay.
Easy.
Let's get that hair clip industry back in its legs. And it's not a really question, but 5-word advice for any young creators looking to make it.
Watch more and listen to tutorials, please.
That's perfect.
It's everything you need.
Couldn't say it better myself. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank you for giving us so much great energy and sharing it with our followers and your followers and all our viewers today. I'll let you go unless you have some finishing words or like wrap up or booyah statement. Feel free to drop it. The camera is on.
Thank you. No, it's been lovely to chat. And just one final note for any followers that are watching this. Genuinely, I try to respond to as many DMs as possible. So if you have like an editing question or just need a word of advice on anything, I'm always open to chat, like even in my message request. So if you just need like a little pep talk or you want any advice on anything, you can always message me. That's the beauty of social networks. And then go make cool aesthetic pictures on Prequel. We can share, compare.
Thank you. Thank you. Doing the God's work. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope to have you again very soon. And give us a call if you ever need another outlet for your creators in one of those calls. Thank you. Beautiful live stream, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. See you guys. Bye bye.
Here.